ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
Wajib ka khalsa, wajib ka fateh.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you?
Yeah, pretty loud and clear. Pretty loud and clear. How's life in Punjab? How is the flooding?
Man, it's a little better now. It was quite worse, as we have all seen on the social media and everything. But now the situation seems to be under control, unless more rains arrive.
Okay, so here's a question on social media. We've been hearing that this is some greater conspiracy to destroy Punjab. How valid is that?
Well, if the sky got under control, there isn't much you and I can do.
Yeah, that's right. And then India's dam building policy has been skewed since 1951. So what can you say? It's a disaster. And I see like even the listeners from Delhi were telling me that Delhi Yamna's broken its banks. It's just a massive hellhole in Delhi as well. And the lucky thing about Punjab is there is not too much urbanization, if I'm correct, from what I remember.
Man, the urbanism has increased in the past, let's say, 15 years. Please excuse the pun, it has exploded.
But is it Delhi bad?
It's pretty bad. It's largely unplanned.
Okay, yep. So then, I mean, after the floods, you would have the risks of pestilence and disease and, from sewer spills and stuff. So, toxic situation, eh?
Yep, expected.
Right, and we hope everyone stays safe. Don't eat three-eyed fishes you find floating on the streets.
Well, there's no nuclear reactor around here, so no chance of that.
Yeah, I was referring to the Simpsons. That three-eyed fish they have in some of the Simpsons TV shows and comics, the pink one.
Man, that show is classic, man.
Yep. So, as an update, everyone missed you for the last 3 episodes.
Well, thank them for missing me. Okay.
And moving on from there, so the historiography episode we did, they're playing it in gurdwaras for children in Canada, in New Zealand, and in Australia. So that's a win-win situation, and I'm really we are thankful to Anmol Singh Rode from the Sikh Renaissance team, because he's doing massive work out there, and we are thinking that there should be a whole platform for people like him, Sikh Shahis and many others, where everyone can come together and contribute their ideas and their work for the benefit of the Panth, for the practical benefit of the Panth, and it probably looks like that we will be needing financial aid for that really soon. So when it comes, that's all good. If you want to reach out to us with financial aid for the listeners and readers, that is all good as well.
How many hearts have you trampled yet till today?
Okay, so the historiography episode trampled a lot of hearts, particularly the Sampradak hearts that, the Suraj Prakash is like, the fourth Granth of the Panth. That's the level they're reaching. And I mean, the episode was pretty long, so we had a massive, prolonged conversation over it as well. So, yeah, the usual death threats and, all the usual love and hate. Now, the second episode, the Pahichara episode, that's the one you heard as well, eh?
Yeah.
So, I was going to calculate the success of that in terms of the Pahichara destruction it caused, and at this stage, we're looking at a 60% Pahichara destruction among our readers and listeners. So, yeah, pretty successful so far.
Pretty successful so far. So sounds good to me. Okay, take a piece of paper and a pen.
Right. Any particular colored pen?
Not red, because that's the Hindu color.
Okay, yep, I've got a pen and a paper. Listeners, if you can do the same.
Okay, just for the listeners, that's just my sense of humor. Sorry. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So let's do a very basic cost-benefit analysis of Pahichara. That should be your title.
Okay, cost, benefit.
Just right. Yeah, analysis of Pahichara. So one side cost, the other side benefit, and at the bottom, your net
Okay, yeah. Let's go for this one then. Let's go.
Okay, let's start from the costs.
Depletion of resources.
That's easy one. That's the first one.
Yeah. Depletion of finances, which can, or depletion of political currency.
Number two, yeah.
Depletion of finances.
Oh, that will count under resources, so that's done.
Okay. Depletion of time.
Minor one, but can be counted.
Yep. Depletion of interpantic goodwill from Sikhs who actually need help.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Done. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, then the next point, and I want you to think about it.
Right.
Loyalties.
Actually, you're right.
We have an opportunity to do something beneficial for the Panth, for our people, but we are, let's say, giving up that opportunity, the time and the resources we need to work on that opportunity for working for the Bhaichara. It
You
is
know,
very
when we,
simple.
yep.
This point of lost opportunity, it's very simple to understand. Yeah, while we should be working on this, that's a pragmatic thing to do. That's what we ought to do. But we run away in the opposite direction to do something that's meaningless. So that's done under the name of Bhaichara.
You know, can I just give a few examples down here?
Go ahead.
One of the things I find is that, look, you know, this is something I pointed out to Sardar Inderjeet Singh last time as well, is that we have Hindus and we have Muslims, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hindus worship idols. They kiss the idol, they bow down to the idol, right?
Mm-hmm.
We Sikhs don't do that. Now, irrespective of the Hindutva brigade who thinks we are Hindus, irrespective of them, I mean, my personal opinion is in my interaction with the Gujarati Hindus who live around me, the Punjabi Hindus who live around me, that they really don't consider Sikhs as Hindus, but they sort of see Sikhs as some part of India, and they always want to know what this Khalistan situation is going in Canada and all that. And we have these, discussions, and everyone agrees that the Indian political system is bad because then why else would they, who are supposed to be part of a ruling class, be sitting in these countries? Like it's common sense.
Yep. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, and the same thing is here because I live in UP and I live with they're largely Hindus anyhow, and yeah. Okay, what's happening in Punjab? No, what do you know about this thing? What's that thing? Is it really that bad? Are people do like they hate it? I said nobody hates you, bro. What are you talking about? So the propaganda is spun in that way.
Yep. And if you look at Muslims, they bow down to a rock 5 times a day. They bow down and kiss the rock and lick the rock when they go on their pilgrimage. But
They
they
also throw some
essentially,
rocks.
pardon?
They also throw some rocks. I think it's like a wall or something.
Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, let's not go over a limit here. I wouldn't shut up if I start, but
No, I
they,
think they stone the devil. I think.
yeah, well, I mean, doesn't seem to be working because the devil's still running around. It has been running around for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they say that Hindus will die for worshipping rocks, but they do it themselves. And you have this whole quandary where both religions are essentially so similar, but they're fighting with each other, right? Like whatever is happening in the world is between those communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, other than some token gestures of, global peace or whatever, do you see any Christians, any Jews, I mean, any other religion interfering in those fights?
Not exactly.
Okay, now Guru Tegh Bahadur, there is this thing that Guru Tegh Bahadur died for the Hindus. Now, obviously that was like the Hindus coming to Anandapur was only one aspect of the picture, as we discussed in the Guru Tegh Bahadur episode, right? Now, many Muslims are instigating Sikhs online saying that, hey, Aurangzeb saved the Hindus from Tegh Bahadur's tyranny. And we have had a talk with some Indian brothers who are listening today, and they will be, taking this to the local police and the Indian IT cells, to deal with these people. But like what I'm saying is, did Guru Tegh Bahadur go out of his way to support the Marathas or even the Rajputs he accompanied with any Sikh manpower to fight off whoever they wanted to fight off?
Not that I know of.
Right? Did Guru Gobind Singh Ji explicitly send Sikhs over for Paichara to Shivaji Marathe to, get some Paichara coalition going to beat the Mughals?
No.
Right? Now, Banda Singh Bahadur is near Kurukshetra and he does try making a coalition with the Rajputs, but they refuse because here's the thing. Their accounts show that they never considered the Sikhs as Hindus, so they refuse to do this anyway. But he's near Kurukshetra. He can afford to do that. What I'm essentially saying, Navjeet Singh Ji, is that you can pray to God to give you an opportunity, but God isn't going to, break a piece of bread and put it in your mouth for you, is he?
It depends on how hard you pray.
Well, I mean, if you play realistically, let's just say if you pray realistically.
Oh, if you go and buy, let's say, a lottery ticket, you'll only win if you pray hard enough.
Well, I mean, moving on from there anyway, is that God isn't going to break anything and put it in your mouth for you. You need to make the effort yourself. Now, the Gurkatha tells us that when Guru Tegh Bahadur's head was brought to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he asked Bhai Jetta, well, what happened, Jetta? Well, why didn't anyone stand up for my father? And Bhai Jetta said, well, yeah, there were many people there who didn't want to stand up. And the Guru said, well, Hindus and Muslims are both responsible for my father's death. But here's the thing at the end of the day. If the cowards can't stand up for themselves, we are not going to go out and die for them. Let them fade away into oblivion. All we can do is inspire them to stand up for themselves. Now, have you heard the story of Gangpat?
I might have forgotten the entire story, bro. I heard it a long time ago.
Yep. So Ganga was in Delhi. He was a bard for the Prime Minister of Delhi at the time who betrayed his sovereign to the Afghans. And now this this Prime Minister went and told Ganga that, you know what, Ganga, you need to start singing songs about my glory. And Ganga turned around and said, bro, you're a coward. And he said, Ganga, I will kill you. So what they did was they set up this massive stage for Gang, who was supposed to be the best singer in North India, to come onto the stage and sing about, how brave the Prime Minister was. And Gang was so inspired by the sings, right? He wasn't a Sikh, but he was so inspired. He gets up on the stage and he says that not a single pubic hair was harmed on this female, and points at the Prime Minister. And then do you know what he says?
Tell me.
Yep. Kadena Gandu Ranachare Kadena Bisre Bomb, that never does the homosexual go to war, and never does a bamboo make a good flute, something along those lines. And Ganga boys down to the wall for the last time, never trust his cowards, and they killed him and threw him away. But that is actually helping someone, right? That is inspiring someone to stand up on their own 2 feet and die for themselves if they have to. But getting yourself killed for such people, that is not anywhere explicit. That is a massive sin against the God who gave you your life. Right? What I don't understand about this page a lot is these people, right? The neo missionaries will be going around saying that, Sikhs are in India and India has convinced us that we need to die for them. Well, what's the difference between dying for them and then your stupid Paichara where we die for others who are equally ungrateful?
Recently, some people from quote unquote our community helped people in Pakistan. There was like a massive flood last year, I think.
Yep.
They helped them in the exact same villages where, let's say, very large populations of Sikhs were totally wiped out. So the grandfather wiped out Sikhs, and the grandchildren are receiving direct monetary assistance from the same descendants of the same people they massacred.
And they would massacre us again. There's no doubt about that. They would massacre us again.
Well, I have absolutely no doubt. They are very clear. Their track record is solid.
Hmm.
So it's up to me to comprehend it, but their track record is solid. Okay, coming back to our cost-benefit analysis.
Hmm.
The biggest cost, well, one of the biggest, I would say, is the loss of the western part of Punjab, our heritage.
Right.
So if you say that even though we were persecuted, we were massacred, our heads were sold, our women were defiled, our children were, you know what happened, everything, yeah. But
Right.
still, we chose to move on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
We didn't massacre them as a people, as a nation. We didn't prosecute them. We didn't persecute them. You know, we gave them
Yep.
jobs. We gave them almost equality, you could say. Yeah.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what did we receive in return?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The Punjabi Mussalman joined the British in, destroying Sikh sovereignty. And now, and this is something people won't understand, but Inderjit told us last time that statue of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, that is only a money acquiring game, right? To get some money.
Of
And they
course.
now, yeah, they had to move it into a museum because their own people kept on breaking it down and, smashing it. And look at the hoardings in Lahore. Look what they say about the Sikhs, the Sikh gurus, and Maharaja Ranjit Singh and Sikh figures. I mean, that hypocritical nation and its community is always going on about Bhaichara to fool us. Well, what about all these other gurdwaras which are demolished and destroyed and where, you people have your own businesses? Why don't you restore those to us?
They're not going to do it, man. They're very clear on that.
Definitely they're clear, and this is what I want to say is that the recent news from Saudi Arabia is that the Saudi government is going to change the hadiths, right? They want to alter the sunnah. They have realized that the Islamic world has massive problems globally and they need to change. That means the Pakistani Muslims and the Indian Muslims are going to be even more aggressive in the near future because they will see themselves as the only upholders of Islam. So get ready for more Paichara to be betrayed.
Uh, okay, branching off from here.
Right.
I recently watched a video of it was a Punjabi Muslim jat from Western Punjab, yeah,
Yep.
and he said that we were taught at school in their school system that we are not actually native to this land, but we are the descendants of the invaders, those glorious people who spread Islam to this part of the world.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what they taught because in Pakistan, okay, this is a massive problem in Pakistan. I've talked to people, I've known this, I've read about it.
Yep.
A lot of people magically, let's say, magically became, they changed their caste. There is caste in Pakistani society much stronger than ours. Yeah.
Yep. Very strong, actually.
So let's say people from this so-called lower caste who were Muslims, they moved to West Punjab and they claim to be the so-called high castes.
Right.
People magically change surnames. People magically change communities. You could simply say, my entire family was wiped out. I'm the only one remaining. Who's there to testify for you?
Pretty much.
So there are a lot of people who claim to be Sayyids. There are a lot of people who claim to be Mughals. There are a lot of people who claim to be, let's say, direct descendants of the first Arabs who invaded India, just to
Right.
gain, let's say, socio-political currency.
Hmm.
I think that's some form of extreme self-hatred, but it exists.
Actually, I've
So
seen that inferiority complex quite a lot. I know an Arab businessman who employs, non-Arab Muslims, and the amount of hatred and abuse they cope from this man is amazing. To the point he doesn't even let them inside the same mosque he goes to, and that mosque is full of Arabs, and they force them to pray outside. And I was telling them one day, why don't you change your religion? And they were just looking at each other, and then they told me that it's so hard for us. We have been so brainwashed that even thinking about the concept is so bad. Like they have given up believing in the religion, but they're still so habitually brainwashed into it that they just go through all the parameters.
Do you think people like the religious clergy in almost all religions, including ours,
Hmm.
do you think there's going to be like a significant percentage of them who are doing what they do, that's religious service, purely because of the power they have? On the inside, they could be hardcore atheist or something. We don't know.
I've actually seen that. I've actually seen that. Now look at the Guru Karpais in these countries. The ones who come overseas. I mean, did I tell you about what that kid was saying? That Pais are only here as part of immigration scam to get residency. I mean, you see that all across the board with all religions. They just want to come here, get a new life, and religious sentiments are just way something they can exploit to get over here. And there is no responsibility taken for what happens after that, for what they're teaching. Now, you can sit all day on the stage, bang a tabla, play the harmonium, do the Vaigru, and do the Gopal Tera Artha Jojan Tumri Bhakt Grante and all that. But really, at the end of the day, no one's actually connecting with you. And that's why that prachar in some of the Gurdwaras is failing. So they only use it for their power. They don't really have any interest in it, to be honest.
Yeah, that has been my observation. And there are tons of videos like there are people who recorded them from the CCTV cameras, even from their own cell phones. In the Guru Karpais are just playing video games while doing part on the cell phone. They're skipping tons of Guru Granth Sahib.
There's a mosque near my house, and I go past it, and all the young kids are sitting outside, talking, laughing, playing with the Chinese kids, while the parents are inside doing the, whatever they do. And I asked one of these kids, "Why don't you go inside?" And he told, and this is a teenager actually. This is like someone who's like 18 years old. You would consider him an adult, really, by legal standards. And I asked him, like, why don't you do what they're doing inside? And he's Ethiopian. Do you know what he turns around and says to me?
Tell me.
He's like, "I invite you to try it for a day and see how boring it is. You will kill yourself. It's so mind-numbing."
I'm not supposed to make a joke that will get us banned again, but I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. But
I'm pretty sure you understood it already.
Okay, so moving on from there, really, I mean, if you look at it, like, especially our lot seeking all this stupid self-validation, what has happened to our people? Is this like some sort of study, some sort of steps that have been put into us that we are going through this self-guilt tripping factor that in 47 we did more damage than anyone else, and now we need to make up for it? Is it just like white guilt that is pushing us into this degeneracy?
Okay, there's several parts to it. Okay, that's a good point to cover. There's several parts to it. Okay, part number one.
Right.
I would say this. Okay, hold on. Can you rephrase your question?
Okay. It has always been said that Sikhs, despite the minority, achieve more than their numbers should imply.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are told that we killed so many, of the other side during partition, etc., etc., it's always being used to guilt trip us into building more mosques, temples, and churches on this side. But in reality, is that the same as what's happening with the white nations, where, there is this guilt tripping that, hey, you guys conquered the world, you brought civilization to the world, but you were a bit too harsh, so now you need to let us into your country so we can rape and kill and, destroy your heritage? Is this like the same guilt factor that is being injected into our veins by the Bhaichara lot?
There's some similarity in it. Okay, you live in New Zealand. The country has
Right.
unfortunately got a very high domestic violence rate.
Pretty high, and it's increasing.
Okay, if you ever get an opportunity, and this is for the listeners as well, if you ever get an opportunity, try to talk to a person who has been abused. Yeah. It could be just maybe hearing the story or whatever, but observe. They are so hungry for validation. You just need to say a few good words to them, and they'll feel, let's say, satisfied to an extent. Seeking
Right.
validation is a symptom of demoralized and abused people.
Right.
In our case, it I think it is true that we were able to answer violence with violence, and we actually won up them. We didn't start it. We know that for sure. That's a fact. But we managed to finish it, and we were willing to do much more. But the Indian government, I think, stopped us in 1947. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we were trying to let's say, reconquer the territory west of the border. That's part one. But afterwards, today you can go to YouTube and watch all those people uploading videos about partition and everything. And in the comments, I can read like Sikh accounts apologizing for massacring the village.
Can I tell you something here?
Mm-hmm.
Something these Jada boomers have never been able to answer for me is this. Okay, let's just start from the beginning down here. If a Hindu or a Muslim, this is for the liberal light idiots on, the Sikh part of Reddit. If a Hindu or Muslim moved into any of the territories made by the gurus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Hindu went to the guru, like for example, how the Nirmalas have this bullshit story that there was a pandit who believed in caste, and this Pandit Guru Gobind Singh Ji told him at Paonta Sahib, "Hey, teach my Singhs the the Hindu scriptures for whatever use God knows." And this Pandit goes, "Well, hey, they're a low caste, and I don't teach this to the low caste," and goes and sits down. So this Pandit is casteist, right? He's practicing caste.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think that the gurus would have allowed all this, the like especially caste, which is a cornerstone of Hinduism and Sharia, without which there is no Islam? Do you think the gurus would have actually allowed such inhumane practices in these territories?
No.
Right? When we
Mm-hmm.
have Baba Banda Singh bans Azan, Baba Banda Singh kills all the mullahs and qazis, the peasants wipe out the rest. Baba Banda Singh obliterates Brahmin supremacy in the Punjab. Basically that Brahmins, like Arvind says, based on contemporary Mughal records, that high caste Hindus used to fold their hands and bow down to low caste Shudras who had become, Singhs. Do you really think they would have tolerated caste and Sharia in their territories?
What's the difference between the two?
There is no difference between the two. None. I mean, I don't see any difference between both religions, but let's just say, for argument's sake, there is. But there is no difference between them, is there?
Effectively, I would say there isn't much. They're largely the same. It's like a cricket ball and a baseball ball. They're largely the same thing.
Pretty much. Do you think those Singhs, the Dal Khalsa, even under Maharaja Ranjit Singh, Metcalf reports how the Shia shouted out one of their religious cries, and the Nihangs attacked them straight away with swords and cut them up pretty brutally. Do you really think Singhs would have tolerated all this Bhaichara rubbish?
Back in the days, no. Today, yes.
Right? So if they didn't tolerate it back in the day, why are we trying to rewrite history that some degenerate peer called Mia Mir laid the foundation stone of Darbar Sahib? And here's the thing. Nawab Sher Khan of Malerkotla tried raping a Sikh woman, and he got his just dues because of that. Sikhs used to attack and sack and burn down Malerkotla. Today we have that, oh, some Mia Mir laid the foundation stone of Darbar Sahib, Hindu bad. Oh, some Sher Nawab Khan of Malerkotla tried protecting Guru Gobind Singh Ji's sons. Oh, Hindu bad. What I'm saying is, we know that the Nawab of Malerkotla did raise a hue and cry about it, but that was because he feared Guru Gobind Singh Ji, who was still alive. If the Guru wasn't alive, this man would have probably been the first to kill the Sahibjadas himself. His actions in trying to rape a Sikh woman after that bear that out. But still, why are we rewriting our history to pander to one community? See, it's almost like this. You know how you said domestic violence people seek validation?
Yeah.
Okay, Sardar Kapoor Singh used to say this: we got thrashed in partition. Everyone got thrashed in partition. Only thing is, after partition, we started making choices which kept on getting us thrashed over and over again. And now we have come to the Nara of Hindu Sikh Ekta Jindabad, which really means hey, look, you guys have trashed us so much. Let's just be Bhaichara brothers. Let's not do anymore. That sort of thing never works. Sardar Kapoor Singh knew that 40, 50 years ago, but today, exactly like a domestic violence person with this crap of intergenerational trauma, all we are doing is running around looking for this validation while betraying ourselves. Do you really think they would stop killing us? Look at all the Bhaichara that used to happen in Afghanistan and look where that landed.
Do you really think that if we are spending millions, I don't know how many millions every year, let's say, organizing langars at the places where we don't belong, do you think it's going to save us?
It's not going to save us. Now, I repeat myself from the last episode. I had the privilege of meeting someone who survived the Logburi, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is an old woman now with grandchildren living abroad. But when I went to India, she was there coincidentally and I met her. And guess what she told me?
Tell me.
In India, even if you have a waiting list, it's pretty hard to find someone's house. You know, with all the narrow alleyways, especially in Delhi back then, right? You would have an address and you still wouldn't be able to find that address. That's what I remember. I mean, and I'm sure you agree with me that the Indian city construction is pretty haphazard,
You need somebody local at the street level, I would say.
right? And the day they came to kill Sikhs after, Indira Gandhi died, do you know who spotted them? Local people. And do you know how they knew where Sikhs lived and where Sikhs didn't?
Locals, I would say.
See, in this whole genocidal pogrom, you don't have one story of a Sikh who was out of their house at the Gurdwara who survived, or who was at their house and not at the Gurdwara that survived. Do you know why?
Tell me.
The locals used to come to the Gurdwaras for langar,
As they do today.
right? They used to come to the Gurdwara for langar. They knew what the pattern of the Sikhs would be. They ratted on the Sikhs straight away.
Hmm. Okay,
This,
that's a good
this,
point.
this individual, I just want to finish off. Her mother was a registered nurse who used to do free seva of these locals, who literally raped that lady and killed her.
Bhaichara Jindabad.
Bhaichara Jindabad. And you know what she says when she sees all these validation seekers down here and all over the place among us Sikhs?
Tell me.
She told me that the day it comes to liberating the Gurdwaras again, we need to get them and their families and their little children and throw them in front of the bullets and the sticks which will be raining down on us, because then they will know what it means to make a sacrifice in the name of liberating the Panth from their Bhaichara antics, which is allowing those other individuals to take over our heritage.
Hmm. Okay. Then, as an answer to this suggestion, I would tell you this.
Yep,
I saw a very powerful picture recently.
right.
I would say within the last 2 weeks. You know, there were riots in France. Not a new thing, but the recent ones. Yeah, the latest ones. Yeah.
Yep,
There was an old French woman begging the policemen not to charge the rioters because that would be racist.
yep.
Think about this. An old French woman. It's a picture of her with her hands folded, begging the policemen not to do it. Now think about it. How much self-hatred would have been pumped into her head for the past, I would say, 6, 7 decades? She looked that old. That people who burned down her neighborhood, who are criminals, who are drug peddlers, I don't know how many terrorists are there. I think you and I both have seen videos of fully automatic AK-47s being fired on the French street.
Yeah, yep, yep.
So to say that if the police just beats them, let's say, to clear the streets, that's racist. Do you think people like them don't exist in our community?
They do. They 101% do. They definitely exist in our community. I mean, do you remember the Saadat Anwant Singh case back in the early 2000s?
Uh, Vague memories.
Yeah, pedophile raped a 10-year-old girl, and our lot came along and started making excuses that, just after the 80s, the police is still killing Sikh saints. Turned out the rape kit said something else, but by that time, even the Akal Takht Jathedar was implicated for taking a, God knows how many hundred or thousand US dollar bribe in there. Same shit, same story. And that's not denying the oppression we have faced, but we have the same shit again. Like, one of these guys who we were talking to, and we told him, in a chat, that Singhs banned Azan back in the day, Singhs banned caste back in the day. He? What did you say? That's breaking Chara. That is wrong history. We can't repeat those mistakes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you fat little woke shit. Do you really think they cared about your fucking sentiments all these centuries later? They had to do what they had to do. They didn't listen to idiots like you.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'll go back to our analysis here.
Yep.
One of the most tangible things you can see around you is this feeling of hopelessness.
Oh, you can feel it.
Yeah, I
Yep.
would say demoralization is what it is.
Yep.
Today, everything is right in front of you. It's the age of information. You just need to do a few clicks on your cell phone on your own computer, and everything is right in front of your eyes. But do you have the mental capacity to comprehend it?
No. No way.
I asked some people who were trying to do, let's say, a donation drive for the Peer Baba Mela in my village. Yeah, and I said, "Have you read the Quran?" And I said,
Mm.
"No." Then why are you celebrating a Peer Baba? Just read the translation of the namaz they do. That should be enough to tell you what their religion is. I think everybody should know about other faiths, other ideologies. Yeah,
Right? Right from the source, directly from their source.
it will tell you that back in the days why we chose not to be Hindus or we chose not to be Sikhs or even Christian, why we chose to be Sikhs. That's part of our learning process. But
Definitely.
no. They are our brothers. They should have happened. That should happen. There are people today who still blame that Hindus caused 1947.
The most funny thing is these boomers. Like, there was that fat boomer who had that argument with us. He claims that grave worship in Islam, worshipping Makkah in Islam, is because of Hindus, Brahmanism. I mean, they've been doing that before they even came into India. And the second was that Hindus disguised themselves as Muslims to kill Sikhs in 1947. How low are you going to fall? How low are you exactly going to fall?
Okay, I haven't talked to many Hindu families regarding 1947,
Right.
but I'm pretty sure there's a large population of Punjabi Hindus who are residing either in many towns in Haryana and a large population in Delhi. If you talk to their elders, they will tell you stories that what they suffered in 1947. Yeah,
Yep.
so I would say that their suffering isn't any less than ours in terms of population loss and heritage loss.
hmm
But what they have done afterwards is what counts today.
See, the Punjabi Hindu has to justify his Hinduism to the Hindus across Yamuna. I've seen this myself, like Punjabi Hindus are being treated almost like Jews by the other Hindus. But in Punjab, the Punjabi Hindu is no better because their actions in the past speak against them in front of the Sikhs. So in Punjab, they have to justify being Punjabi to the Sikhs. However, if you look at it historically, the Punjabi Hindu was probably the first one, along with the Sikh, to start saying that if there is a split on national lines, on religious lines, we are not going to stay in Pakistan.
This is my personal belief, and I always tell this to my Punjabi Hindu friends wherever they are in India and abroad, that you
Yep,
guys are the original Punjabis. Yeah, we Sikhs came after 1469. Yeah,
yep.
you are the original Punjabis, but for some reason today you're speaking Hindi.
I mean, I believe they might be the original Hindus, but they have been, swamped and forcefully absorbed into this other Hinduism from outside of Punjab. But the Ramayana and Mahabharata was, written in Punjab after all. Panini was in Punjab. most of Indian history is in Punjab. And it's funny to see Pakistan claim it, saying, "Oh, this is ancient Pakistan." Have you heard of it? Ancient Pakistan.
Man, of course, people manufacture the history they don't have. There are people who claim that Egyptians were black. Bro, what are you
Right.
talking about? Where is
So
Egypt in Africa? It's African. It's black.
so there is this ancient Pakistan, let alone ancient Africa, Afro Egypt. Then there is this ancient India. In between is Punjab, where, like Rajmohan Gandhi says, that, at the end of the day, the Sikhs of Punjab were so loved by Punjabis because, most of the Punjabis started becoming atheists or Sikhs around the time the Khalsa Raj was being built, because Sikhs could speak the local language and they had a local hold of the culture. Now, what it is only Sikhs are left with that. If if Sikhs can get rid of stupid Bhaichara, they will have no problems in preserving that at the end of the day. Because in Pakistan, we know they have an inferiority complex. Are they Arab imperialist Muslims or are they Punjabis? On the other side, are they cowbelt Hindus? Are they Sanatanis? What are they? No one knows. And it's all these identities fighting each other while Sikhs run around with the langar bucket, which is shoved right up some places which we cannot name.
There are people living in Turkey today. Today we have this almost magical thing called DNA testing. Yeah,
Right. Yep.
people who are proud Turks that do a DNA test. It turns out they're 70% Greek or even more, and they're shocked. They say, "No, no, no, this is the work of the Jews." No, 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 no. I'm Turkish. I'm Turkish. Yeah, well, you're Greek. Same thing with Pakistan. They said, "Do your DNA test. Let's see how much Arab or Persian or Central Asian you are."
And you turn out Hindu.
100%. A large population of them. Well, the DNA won't tell you the religion, but we can infer that if your DNA says you are, like, I don't know, 95% South Asian, that your ancestors were most definitely Hindus or Buddhists, so they were native to this land.
Oh, that's right. I mean, they've been forcefully converted. Have you seen that episode on South Park where Randy finds out about ancestral DNA testing?
Which one it is?
There's a part where he sees a white guy saying, "I used to be blamed for being a racist.
Oh
But
yeah,
then I
yeah.
took this DNA test and I found out I'm 2% black." And this white guy walks past him and says, "Hey, Dave." And Dave goes around and says, "What's up, nigga?"
Yeah, we got the N-word pass.
Yep. And he's like, "I'm 2% victim." So that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. The white woman jogging around. I'm 13% victim.
Yeah, that one, that one. I mean, that's the one I'm talking about. Copyright laws prevent us from playing it here. But see, that's what I'm saying. There is this professional victimhood on both sides, which literally leads to genocide. And the people who get genocided at the end of the day are the ones who are always trying to build these stupid bridges which do not exist in the first place.
The fact is that tolerance is always from the stronger party to the weaker party.
That's right. Tolerance and forgiveness and charity are from the strong to the weak, right? Never from
Always.
the weak to the strong.
Yeah, that is 100% true. That's a fact. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it always has flown. Okay, so let's set up a social setting.
Right.
There is a person who's got a rich relative.
Right.
If that person is constantly calling the rich relative, like, I don't know, once a week or something, because your relatives, you like to keep in touch with each other. But if the flow of calls is just one way, it's you who's calling the rich relative, not the other way around. You really think that he's really your relative?
No, he probably sees you as a parasite.
Let's say if you go to a wedding where you and the rich relative are present, I guarantee you he won't sit close to you.
Definitely.
That's the way it is. So we are Sikhs, yeah? That's what
Yep.
our ancestors chose to be voluntarily, without any fear, without any greed, or without any convenience. We chose to be Sikhs, yeah?
Pretty much.
As Sikhs, we have certain beliefs. We believe all people are equal, not ideologies. People.
Yep.
Everybody is welcome to become a Sikh. We had 2 Sikh states where people were given equality. Fair enough. We are Sikhs. If you are a Hindu, you are a human being. As a Sikh, cannot discriminate against you on any grounds. Same with the Muslims. but do you reciprocate?
See, one thing I love what you just said is that people are equal, not ideologies.
Yeah, of course. If I meet any other person from, let's say, a very different part of the world, I will say I'll shake hands with you. I'll probably hug you. I'll probably eat food with you, and I'll share stories. Yeah, you're a human being. Done. But if you
See,
come to me claiming that I must respect, quote unquote, your beliefs, then I'll say, nah, you have the right to have them, but you cannot demand that I respect them.
okay, I got a question here. If someone comes to you and says, if you don't do what I say, you are doomed to hellfire for the rest of your life, or you will reincarnate as someone's ugly mother-in-law, are you actually going to think that person is sane, or are you going to think he's an insane idiot?
I'm just going to say okay and slowly walk back.
Okay. And if that person comes and says that this is what my religion says, our idiots will say, Aval Allah noor paya Kudrat ke sab bande. They won't read ahead. For Bhakt Kabir actually tells you who Kudrat te bande are. They will only read that, cherry pick that, and then say, let's give them langar, while getting the same langar bucket shoved right up their ass.
Well, Kabir didn't say Kudrat ke sab deen. He just said bande, human beings.
See, up ahead, he actually describes who these Bande are. These Bande are the ones who have realized Hukam because, right after the Shabbat and before that Shabbat, he's basically hitting on Hindus and Muslims and saying, hey, both of you are hypocrites, both of your religions are fake. And then they try making Bhakt Kabir out to be a hypocrite when he's literally explaining what he means down here. Like, there's another Shabbat of Bhakt Kabir, and it is Pave lambe kes karo pave karan murai, right? Pave means appease. These idiots translate it as Pame. And then they suddenly say, hey, look, Bhakt Kabir is saying we don't need a case at all. There you go. Karlo gal. Weaponize Gurbani right against yourself. And then 2 years later, when they have kids, yaar bacche case hi ki kar liye.
Sure, man. It's the same thing that I was trying to clean the mirror, but the dirt was on my own face.
That's actually a good one. That's actually a good one. But getting back to the spy, Jara Rubbish, are there any steps here which have been done to actually put the dirt in our face and just keep on making us clean a mirror which doesn't even exist in the first place?
Man, there are quite a few of them. I just told you the first one. Hindus cost 1947.
But, like, is there a process how this guilt is actually imposed on a race or a religion to make it destroy itself?
It could be. You need some people who will just push this. I think goes back to the Nazi propaganda. If you repeat the lie enough, it will eventually become the truth.
So,
Or
in
people
a
will.
nutshell, right. So, in a nutshell, are we actually saying that the Paichara lot are not doing Nishkam Seva? They're not being selfless, they're actually seeking validation?
Ah, man, this is a complex question. They're not just, maybe they're seeking validation, maybe they want to appear important to the world, maybe they want to preach to the world that, look, what we have is what you need to do, that this is a future. And
Mm.
there are many more things at work. They could be subversive, they could have their own agendas, or they could have been employed by somebody else. Who knows, man? We don't know. It's a deep field of study. And I think individuals, listeners, you and I, and everybody else around us, we should start noting down these things. Yeah, as we were doing a basic cost benefit analysis, I think if you're a businessman, you just do. If you want to do a new deal, you say, okay, it's going to cost me this much. This could be a benefit. Is it good enough for me or not? Everybody does that. Yeah. When you meet a new person, you do a cost benefit analysis. Is the person good enough? How's their personality? Maybe they talk too loud. They're swearing too much. Maybe they haven't got a job or something. They say, oh, well, he's not good enough for me. So I'm just going to shake hands and never meet him again.
See, you know what Sardar Kapoor Singh used to say? He used to say Sikhs were the biggest idiots of the world. right? Sikhi was a faith of smart people, but Sikhs are the biggest idiots. Two different things, but would you agree?
Faith and the followers are two different things. Yes.
Right? And he used to say that Sikhs love both pain and pleasure. Pain is a gift from God, pleasure is a gift from God, right? These are gifts to us. Duk sukh.
Uh, I think it was you who told me that some guy in the UK said that we must pay for the rehabilitations of Muslim women in the UK.
Yeah, we were there on that stupid Discord session. Remember Prithpal, that other boomer who used to work at the United Nations or something, lives in the UK, claims he's a cop. He used to be a cop.
I think so.
Yep. What about him?
Uh, okay, so this claim that it's our moral duty to do it, and then I've seen Sikhs in Australia organizing protests for Aboriginal rights. Nobody's there, not the Aboriginals, not the whites, not the liberals. Nobody's there, just the Sikhs.
See, what Sardar Kapoor Singh used to say was, Nanak naam chardi kala tere pane sarbata pala, that Nanak, your wisdom is how you run the world. We see your wisdom in how you run the world. Whatever you wish, that is for the benefit of all. Basically means if someone has duk, someone has sukh, it doesn't matter to us. It is for you. It is for you to sort out. Why the
Mm-hmm.
hell are we then saying that in Ardas and then challenging Guru Nanak that if you want to give someone duk, hey, look, we are going to go there and give them langar? I mean, what is it gaining us? See, then they say that Guru Nanak fed those sadhus. Those sadhus asked for help, and Guru Nanak fed them because he had the means. Otherwise, do you think that Guru Nanak was like Pike in a year racing around on the battlefield when the Mughals were fighting with the Hindus? No, he was actually there fighting for people himself, fighting for his life, fighting for the future of Sikhi. What else do you have here other than feel good utopian stories which have no basis in reality in the first place?
No, there is this story that has been hidden from us by the forces that be, that when Guru Nanak was farming in his old age,
Hmm.
all that grain he produced was used to give langars 10,000 miles away.
Oh my God. I mean, like Inderjeet said, I have no words for the stupidity of our people at the moment.
Do you think the city founded by Guru Nanak, Kartarpur, was full of parasites?
No, I don't think they were full of parasites in the first place. I mean, even today, I don't take any form of welfare because I feel like a parasite myself. I don't do it. It's not right.
Imagine a place where Sikhs are in charge, yeah?
Hmm.
So you got langar every single day, summer, winter, rain, snow, whatever.
Right.
Is there any incentive to work hard when food is guaranteed?
No, there is no incentive, and that's what my grandfather was telling me that back in the day, because he came from Lalpur in the Pends, the Sikhs were like this: that if they saw you in langar for in a row and you had no job, you had nothing to do, you had no compulsion, no valid reason to be there, they used to kick you out. This is how Granthi Singh during my grandfather's childhood days broke a Turk's arm, broke it and kicked him out after smashing the shit out of him and giving him a bloody nose. The man came to Langar 1 week in a row, and later they found out he was there watching the woman bath. The Granthi bashed the living shit out of him and chased him out of the village. They never saw him again.
Probably move to a different village and continue doing the same.
Hmm. But I mean, this is what one of the Singhs was telling me here. He's actually associated with Taxal, but he's left Taxal. He doesn't believe in it anymore. He was saying that we need to stop food wala langar and we need to start giving a langar of books, langar of education, because langar was for the poor, right? Langar was for the low caste. Now, today, langar is for fat bastards who are going to die of diabetes anyway. Why are we contributing to that by giving them even more paneer? यार मरना तो घर जाके मरो गुरु घर च क्यों मरदे आ तुसी?
Is Wilfred Brimley living in your head? Diabetes.
It's like the third enemy we're facing after the Baichara clowns and the political situation. The third is diabetes, pretty much right up there in the top 10.
Yeah, the disease. Yeah, unhealthiness. Okay. So yeah, okay. So doing the other part, the benefits of Paichara. I'll
Right.
let you start.
Uh, you go home feeling good.
Okay. All right. Point two.
Yeah. During the next genocide, you can get in the last word. Hey, I gave you langar.
Oh, so feel good factors only.
As you die, eases you into the next life.
Hmm. Or maybe the people who are going to kill you, they might remember your selfless service, and they will, let's say, they won't behead you, they will shoot you. So that's a quicker death.
After raping your woman folk and burning your kids alive, yeah.
Ah, yeah, okay. So yeah,
Mm,
that gets you something, doesn't it?
yep. Third factor, you get allies for Khalistan. You know, Khosre for Khalistan, Kale for Khalistan.
Sorry, I'm
You,
laughing.
you,
So
you can be like Menka Gandhi and feed, langar to Kutte and say Kutte for Khalistan as well. You can involve that as well if you want, if you're so desperate. See, there is this particular boomer who actually approached Karminder Singh Tillo and said, Dr. Tillo, you're saying Guru Cars are full of Brahmanism. And Tillo tells him, well, you're the one who's actually copying and pasting my article on your blog. Boomer gets angry. Dr. Tillo, with the Amitabh Bachchan look, please refrain from being so aggressive. Dr. Tillo, look at how many Gurdwaras did langar during Corona. Look at how many Sikhs converted. Dr. Tillo, look at Maharaja Ranjit Singh, voted in as one of the greatest leaders of the world. Dr. Tillo, look how many people are learning about Sikhi from that. And do you know what Karminder Singh Tillo says to his credit?
tell me.
He says that, can you please go to all these non-Sikhs, and if you can't approach all of them, get a few of them and ask them what Langar and Shabad Guru means? And do you, Mr. Boomer, believe Langar is more important or Shabad Guru? Boomer, oh, Shabad Guru. So how much have these Langar eaters understood about Shabad Guru? Boomer had no reply. And then Dr. Tillo told him, now, Mr. Boomer, do you think that Maharaja Ranjit Singh, with some of his drinking habits and multiple wives, was a good model for Amritdhari kids? Mr. Boomer, I do not want to continue this conversation further.
It was a mistake to talk to you.
He wasn't going to say that much. That was his arrogance couldn't have allowed him to survive after that. But so what do we have? You get a good feeling. Next genocide, you can get the last word by saying, I fed you langar. What was the third one? Yeah, we get validation from others,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, fourth one, we get potential allies for Khalistan.
Yeah, and you can also ensure that because Gurbani says, "Kudat ke sambandhe," your future
Hmm.
descendants will be all mixed.
Okay, so you can sell your. Okay. I know where this is coming from. I know you read my article on Substack last night, didn't you?
Well, I read every single article, and I like to read a lot. I like to read on many topics from different cultures in different languages and everything. I like to enrich my brain. I like to keep myself entertained. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I'll actually explain it. Last night, I wrote an article on how feminism derails Sikh values. It's called Randia because Guru Nanak calls prostitutes Randia in one of his shabads. And of course, our, Kar Ganka Jamia will be saying that, if Ganka could get liberation, please, Pano, go and read the other Var of Pai Gurdas, where he says just because Ganka the whore got forgiven doesn't mean all of us turn into whores. That said, here's the thing about these feminists. Okay, here's the thing about these Randia feminists, these feral feminists. Okay, forgive me, I have to say this. They say a woman is more equal than men, right?
The classic George Orwell story. Yeah, some people are more equal than the others.
then do they die of either STDs or diabetes when the woman sacrifices her heritage and culture by marrying a man of another heritage or culture who disallows her from even kids? Isn't that equality? Isn't that inequality? Isn't that somewhere where these feminists should be running around and barking about it? Shouldn't they be burning places down then? Shouldn't they be claiming that that is misogyny? Or bas kutte yeah, radio.
No, well, you have to do something to feel important. Today, there's no new frontier left to conquer. So they're going to do these things. I think Andrew Schultz did it perfectly. He said the women time, the fight for equality did perfectly. 5,000 years, men are hunting buffaloes. They're being chased by tigers and all the wild animals. And the women are like, well, just pick the berries. You guys are so brave. And they said the moment you put air conditioning in offices, we want equality.
You know, Maxim, the African guy who makes those funny takes.
What's his social media handle?
I think Maxim Brady.
I've quite seen quite a few of them.
It's a picture of a woman in a bikini swimming underneath a crocodile. Holy shit. The creature I fear the most, swimming with a crocodile.
Currently,
I mean, look, at the risk of so getting back to that benefit analysis, getting back, yep.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
Yep. Sorry, getting back to the benefit analysis, you're doing jindashi, the entire kurbani of your future heritage for the for staying in the present. These bastards will probably spin it as being a positive.
Bro, they will. 100%.
Okay, so our do you want to keep going more to the benefit?
Just a follow-up point. Have you seen this recent wedding with the cowboy hat in the Gurdwara in Texas, I think?
Oh yeah, the cowboy hat. Oh my god, man, the way they went about it on social media. Oh, Guru says Kudrat ke sabande. Oh, Tanpi does not even mean husband and wife. Oh, at least he had his head covered. And this was the most classic one I loved. Do you know what it was?
Tell me.
God haven't done anything to us. It's the Hindus we should be fighting against. Like, I mean, I understand there's a situation. I understand it's oppression. But Asala, like, where the fuck do you get the Hindus from and everything, for goodness sake?
Bro, I live with Hindus, and if that were true, I would have been dead.
I mean, I don't understand this. Like, today at the local Gurdwara, a Hindu did a Khandpat and did a langar for 600 people and gave an additional $4,000 for the Guru Kar, right? Because the mandir told him they were too busy to do his program. He came to the Gurdwara, full man maryada. And one thing I liked was that a Singh was doing langar di seva. And you know how sometimes we tie the loose dastars because we have been, doing cooking since the nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Singh di dastar gir gayi. This man actually picks up the dastar and gives it to him and does a ardas that Vaheguru Sache Patsha, I'm a Mona, I grabbed the Singh's dastar, please forgive me.
Didn't need to do that, but I can understand this point.
Right? He wants to raise his children as Sikhs, right? I mean, you see this happening, so it's really hard for me to understand that why people who have it in their faith that we're going to burn in hell are being treated as some exception, even though they're killing us in their countries, whereas the people who we can make some links with are the ones who are, being pushed away anyway. I mean, look at all those Haryanvi Jats who want to convert to Sikhi now because Sikhs are the ones going and helping them in Haryana. See, you have seen those videos, haven't you? I put them up on Telegram today.
Oh, there are quite a few of them who have already done so in the past 10 years, voluntarily, without even the langar and everything.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's...
Bro, okay.
Yep.
You know what happened in 2014 in Uttarakhand, yeah?
What happened?
Flash floods, thousands killed.
Yep.
There were people who went to Gurdwara Hemkund and they were stuck as well, yeah?
Yep.
People took that opportunity and they sold your 20 rupee water bottle for 600 rupees. Oh,
Yeah.
Might not be the
Yeah.
exact amount, but let's say it was an opportunity for them to rob people. So you want water bottle, there's no water available. This is the only water you have. Give me 500 or 600, and you had no options. You had to.
Yep.
Today there were limited floods in Punjab,
Yep.
and do you know how what happened in Punjab?
I mean, what I've heard is that no one in Punjab is overcharging. They're giving services for free.
Bro, there's a video. I think it's from Sangrur area or Batanda area. It's like a poor Sikh, but it's still got like a 5 kilo plastic canister full of grain. He said, "This is my donation to you."
See, can I say something here?
Yeah.
None of the Pentecostal Christians have come out. None of them have come out. God knows where they are hidden. None of the Hindu committees have come out. None of the Muslim committees have come out. None of the Malay Kotle have come out. None of the Paichara lot have come out. It's your common average Sikh who is now holding langar where langar is supposed to be held, right?
They might have come out in one or two instances, but you know what their exact target is when they do that.
Yeah, conversions pretty much.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you see, in these times, langar is a necessity. But otherwise, if we're running around saying that we're going to give, I mean, see, if the Paichara lot really want to prove their validity, then why don't they go and give langar to all the other parts of the world which have been affected by floods? I mean, here we have had massive floods. None of them came here.
Bro, I'll tell you this simple observation. There were recently floods in Chandigarh and Panchkula and Ambala area, this area, yeah? Mohali.
Yep.
Bro, local Sikhs boys driving their tractors, rescuing cars which have been flooded.
And I think one of them lost his life, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right. So more than one way.
Okay. Who tells them to do that?
No one.
Where is the inspiration for doing that coming from?
Gurbani.
That's our heritage. That's what we are as people. When they were rescuing those cars and all those people stuck in them, did they say, "Hey, are you a Hindu? Are you a Muslim? Whatever? What is your caste or something?" No. You're a human being. You and I are both human beings. That's what means Kudat ke sab bande. You're a human being. I'm a human being.
Right.
Yeah. That is it.
But see, those people actually needed help, right?
Yes. It's a calamity. They're not sitting in their own doing, and then we are there to rescue them.
Yeah, it's an immediate calamity, and we can do something about it. Doesn't make sense when you go to Syria, which is what other 56 countries with the similar religion and constitution able to help it, and at the expense of your own people.
Not just that. I think the act of going into foreign lands, doing the thing you do in the name of charity and Sarbat, I think it's a symptom. It's not the cause. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of historical abuse, historical neglect, or seeking validation or something, or maybe just it's a business model that's very successful because our people are not that bright.
I don't even know how to explain it. It's the stupidity of intergenerational trauma, these excuses we're making, which is holding us back.
Okay, let's think about it, this intergenerational trauma. Our fifth guru was executed.
Right.
Our sixth guru died at a young age. I still don't know the cause of his death, but I believe that it wasn't natural.
Seventh.
No, Guru Hargobind Sahib passed away at a young age, at comparatively younger age as well, yeah? Didn't he?
It was Guru Harai, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think it was 31 or 32, yeah?
Yep.
But I'm talking about the sixth Guru, Guru Hargobind Sahib.
Yep.
A man of his stature and of his physical strength. I don't think he's going to pass away at a relatively young age, yeah?
Okay, yeah, we'll accept it.
Then Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib, he was executed.
Right. Guru Gobind Singh Ji also stabbed.
Guru Gobind Singh also stabbed, died subsequently because of that stab.
Yep.
Then in front of his own eyes, well, let's say not in front of his own eyes, but Guru Sahib knew that his entire family has been wiped out.
Right.
And still, what's his attitude?
Chardi Kala.
Chaddi Kala. This is one of the core Sikh beliefs,
Hmm.
that your attitude, even though you might have lost everything, but you still say, you get up in the morning, you read your good money and everything. You're still the same.
Yep. But here's the
I've
thing.
actually, I've
Yep.
actually seen people who, well, unfortunately, I have seen them. People who were serving food and like some handing out water bottles to the BLM writers.
And what did they get out of it? What did they exactly get out of it? Are they going to go and help the black people whose businesses BLM destroyed?
Bro, it's a perfect opportunity for looting, bro. You're looting TVs, shoes, clothes, whatever that's available. You think people won't do it? In France, right in front of you, you can see the videos. They were all, I think some young kid got shot by the police, and he had already had a criminal record, so let's be very clear about it.
Yep.
They looted weapons, they looted food, they looted electronics, everything. It's an opportunity. And you know how that was passed around in
Yep.
these so-called social circles?
Hmm.
That these poor people have nothing left. They are going to eat the rich.
Where is the justice for the people who have been working hard in building their property? Where is the justice for them? See, they will say not everyone is the same when it comes to everyone's favorite minority. Then why is it that the people who have worked hard and joined their wealth together are suddenly tarred with the same brush? Why don't you say everyone is not the same there? What happens to all these talks of gurus that taught us justice when they're involved?
Man, I'm going to answer the question because these answers are, let's say, not very comfortable. It will force you to think. It will force you to change your beliefs, and it might even force you to do a complete 180.
It has to be a complete 180 at the end of the day, because the thing is, the first the Sampradas killed Sikhi for us. They fed us the wrong stories. Then these Babbe Shabbes came. Then these missionary visionaries came. And now it's these woke liberal assholes.
Uh, I think I've quoted Belmar previously. Yeah,
Yep.
go watch his recent videos.
Hmm. Yep.
He claims to be, or let's say, he's often coined as the classic liberal. Yeah,
Yep.
but today he's finding it very hard to accept that these current, uh, the way liberalism it is today, is its own doing. That you open the floodgates. These are your children, and he can't accept them.
See, do you know what attitude the Sikhs had on the subcontinent when they used to be forced from the Punjab if they were refugees outside the Punjab?
Tell me.
We are only here for the time being. We are going to actually associate ourselves with the powerful people. Like, Sukha Singh and Matab Singh, when the Sikhs were in Rajasthan, they were associated with the Rajput kings as like a, army protecting their interests. The day the situation becomes good in Punjab, or we're able to go back and make it good, we're going to go back and make it good there. We are not going to get involved in any domestic politics or policies unless it's really, 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 really necessary, like immediate calamity, or if someone is being killed in front of you. What's happening now is suddenly we're actually arguing that Guru Sahib would have gone and fought for BLM. How stupid is that when BLM is actually one of the most dangerous ideologies in the Western world? It is causing the collapse of the West.
I think it's a symptom. Same thing again. It's a symptom. It's not the cause.
See, if we attach ourselves like parasites to this Western woke liberalism, we are going to go the same way as the Western civilization is going, which is basically the fall of the West, but with it will be the fall of the Sikhs. We attach ourselves to, Judeo-Christian secularism, that's basically what Bhaichara is. We're going to go the same way as those values in the trash bag.
It's Rome 2.0, 2.0.
As a wise man once told me, there is no fuckfordism, so I think the best technique to deal with this, the best tactic is ignore these people and move on with what you're doing. Once you're in a position of power in a Gurdwara or local politics, then ban these people from Sikh spaces and Sikh circles. Kick them out. Let them go wherever the hell they want to go.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some top questions. So, see, this is the closing part of the podcast, yeah?
Okay, right. Let's go.
Your daughter comes to you saying she wants to marry a Muslim because Kudat ke sab bande. What's your response?
Kick her out of the house. I'll tell you I'll kick her out of the house because as a father, I'll make every damn... See, if I'm out there translating Gurbani for the people, then it would be a massive failure for me if I'm not able to teach her what Gurbani is actually saying and not what the Paichara liberals are thinking Gurbani is saying.
No, actually.
No?
Because, no, hold on. This is the beauty of Sikhi. And that's the way I see it.
Right.
Sikhi is there for you to accept and follow. I can't force Sikhi on you.
Right.
Yep.
If she
The
does
exact
it as
same
a
way, the exact same way, no gurus have ever fought an SJW battle to liberate anyone. They just gave them an alternative. Become a Sikh, live a better life. If you chose to, good enough. If you didn't choose to, still your choice.
Yeah, go die.
Well, they eventually died anyhow. We all know that.
Yep.
When gurus have said that you never give your daughter to a kurimar, female infanticide, yeah. So when a female was born, she used to be drowned in like a bowl of milk.
Yep.
So that was a practice, but did gurus have launched any crusade against it? So no, you have to understand our own history, our own guru sahibs from a different lens, I would say. The correct one this time, I would say.
Definitely the correct one. Okay, let's go to the other question. You want to ask the question or should I ask the question?
No, go ahead. You ask the questions.
Okay. Do you think the costs of Paichara outweigh the benefits or vice versa?
There are no benefits. Who are you talking about?
Yep, pretty much, definitely.
Okay. There might be a few. Some people might recognize you that you're not a Muslim, you're a Sikh. I've seen some of your videos. I don't know, read about you or something. But these are negligible.
Right.
If you are there in a position to, let's say, to give people an idea of what Sikhi is, do you think by spending money on other people, you're going to get loyal soldiers or mercenaries? Tell me.
Mercenaries.
What are you going to get? A soldier who will say, Slava Rossiu, or a Wagner mercenary who will ask you for money and resources.
Pretty much mercenary, that's what I think.
That's what I think as well. Because back in the days when Banda Singh Bahadur, he arrived in Punjab, he had tons of mercenaries with him. It was a need of the hour. They fought against the Mughals, or I think a local Suba. And they got loot out of it. They got land rights and everything. Yeah. But if you're trying to preach Sikhi to somebody, do you really think that spending money on them is going to convince them?
No, hell no, it's not going to convince them. And that's what that stupid boomer actually made the mistake of. Oh, lots of people have converted to Sikhi due to the langars we held during COVID, and people underneath asked him for the statistics, and he just deleted the posts and ran away.
Well, even if some people did, do you think that ROI, return on investment, is good enough?
No, it's not good enough because they're probably doing it for some sort of a kudos. How do we judge whether they're authentic or not unless we're there ourselves?
If you plant, let's say, 10 trees and only one gives fruit, are you going to be considered a successful farmer?
Hell no.
No. If you start 10 businesses and 9 fail, and then you claim to be, and then you try to go on Shark Tank, they will kick you out.
You try going on The Apprentice with Donald Trump, you're fired.
You're fired.
See,
something... Yeah. I think what I've said is nothing out of the extraordinary. These are just simple observations.
Right.
Anybody can do them. You don't need, I don't know, Einstein-esque IQ to observe them. It's just simple. It's right in front of you.
Hmm.
So at the point you put forward that they are now trying to, are they trying to revise them or remove them, the hadiths?
See, they have religious lying in their religion, right? They lie for their religion, but
They are
they
allowed
will.
to.
Yep, they will also lie to make you convert. One of the most recent things they're doing is, like I told you about that other idiot. They have see. There's a source, Irfan Habib. He's about 90 now, but he translated it. He's a massive fan of Sikh history at Aligarh Muslim University. He says that Gursoba and Persian sources actually match on many things. And the interesting thing is, while Muslims deny this en masse, there is a contemporary source called Akami Alamgiri by Inayatullah Khan, who was one of the scribes of Aurangzeb. And Inayatullah Khan, what a stupid name, eh? Like, what a funny name, Inayatullah, Inayatullah Khan.
It's
Basically,
Inayatullah
oh, oh damn, there's another one. Okay, anyway, leaving aside the as Peter Griffin would say,
pronunciation.
the Al Qaeda vibes. Anyway, this man, like 25 years after these events, sort of actually before he died, made a little volume and he embellished some stuff. So one of his letters goes to Munim Khan, the governor of Lahore, who was actually placed there by Bahadur Shah, who actually thought the Sikhs would help him get the throne. So Munim Khan is told that Gobind, the chief of the Nanak Panthis, has sent a petition to Aurangzeb and he seeks an appointment. And seeking an appointment in the Persian language of the day, they would write kiss the imperial threshold, right?
Yeah. It's quite colorful, the Persian language.
Yeah, colorful. And these people have taken that and they're saying, hey, look, your guru wanted to kiss the imperial threshold. And then when we on our Twitter posted the Gur Soba saying that the Gurs Badar, the mace bearer of Aurangzeb, personally came to accompany the guru with all dignity. And this is what the Gur Soba says, and this is what the Alamgiri says by Niyatullah Khan, and Habib says these sources match, so the Gur Soba is authentic. They suddenly turn around and start throwing allegations of the Gurus being murderers, Guru Tegh Bahadur oppressing Hindus, and all that rubbish. And the Bhaichara Brigade is underneath telling us not to even reply back because those people are Hindus when they're bona fide Islamofascists, right? So this entire conundrum is here is that these Bhaichara clowns actually think that social media has no impact on people's decisions and perspectives of communities.
Okay, fair enough. Good point. One point that I like to talk about, I think this is going to be the end of it. Sorry, we stretched it a bit
Right.
too long.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
In India, they're trying to, okay, we had the CAA,
Right.
the Citizenship Amendment Act.
Right.
For no reason other than Paichara, Sikhs opposed it.
You know what the funny thing about the CAA is?
Tell me.
They actually wanted to sit down with the Sikhs and ask the Sikhs how they could rectify it. I mean, for 24 years, Sikhs, refugees from Afghanistan, were considered oversteers under the Congress government. They would try arresting and deporting them to Afghanistan. Whereas the government of the day, despite their policies, actually has some fixation with the Sikhs, and they wanted Sikhs to tell them how they could rectify the act. Now, the Sikh boomers protesting against the act kept on saying, "Well, look at what's happening in West Bengal. Look at what's happening in West Bengal." But do you know what the irony here is?
Tell me.
These Sikh boomers are lying that the government didn't want to negotiate with the Sikhs on this point. Second thing, West Bengal had a Congress government when the CAA failed. So basically, what happened was that before that little, message from Spotify that we have reached over a particular time limit for the recording, West Bengal had a Congress government when the CAA failed and not a BJP one. And that's how they lie about it to instigate Sikhs.
Hmm. We are not the saviors of the world. People are equal. They have their own agencies. They can do their own thing. We offer them the way of Sikhi to just better their own lives.
It's look, When they offered Nawabi to Kapoor and the Singhs took it, didn't they?
They did.
So why then are we cutting off our own feet here? I mean, is that bhaichara ever rectified? We're still being killed in Pakistan and Afghanistan.
And that's why I asked you to do the cost benefit analysis. It's very simple. I think people should do it in general for many things in their own lives. They might even be doing it subconsciously, but to write it down on a piece of paper makes it more tangible and readily understandable.
Same co-religionists, but no voice. So don't do bhaichara, I suppose, end of this day.
Bhaichara exists within Sikhi, but we consider them to be equal human beings. We don't consider ourselves to be the saviors. We are not saviors of the world. We are human beings. We are Sikhs. We live a particular lifestyle, and we offer you, let's say, a way to better your own lives. Yeah, it's not my responsibility or my duty to think for you. I'm not there to save you from yourself.
Or anyone, even for that matter, if you don't want to save yourself.
I'm here today. I live here today. I follow the law of the land. I try to be a good citizen. That's just me as a Sikh. But I'm not going to, go out of my way to accommodate your beliefs, which might be totally against me.
If we had a Sikh state in the past, and if anyone actually attacked us, we would fight back, right? If someone tried to do bhaichara with those people, what do you think we will feel like? What will we do to the bhaichara people then?
Can you imagine Khalsa forces are marching on to the Afghans and somebody just stops them in the way and says, wearing colorful clothing, it says, "Kudurat ke sab bande," can't do it.
Probably tear him to shreds.
No, the first shot right in his chest.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why nobody did it, because people understood the realities back then. Today, our lives are way too comfortable.
Way too comfortable. So
have you seen people making videos of floods? Like they're dancing in front of the Gurdwara, they're dancing in the flood waters.
Yeah, I've seen that. That stupid bitch in New York dancing in front of Gurdwaras.
These are just the symptoms, yeah, remember.
Right. So, in summary, what have you learned? Don't trust anyone.
Well, that should be in general, but you could say that understand Sikhi better, the way it is, not in the way you perceive it to be, or some sampada or some particular Babaji told you.
Or Ravi Khan.
Yeah, well, Mr. Khan is a different thing. Learn about the world, politics, religion, economics, understand the world, because you are a part of it. It doesn't matter if you take interest in the world takes interest in you. That's guaranteed. And be a good citizen, be a good Sikh.
Right. And remember, it's Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Pane Sarbatta Pala, not Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Sada Theka Pure Sarbatta Pala.
100%. And responsibility is something that you should, let's say, adopt and expect from others. You can't say I'm responsible, but I accept that you as an irresponsible person.
There's a thin line between freedom and ferality. Remember my article.
That's a deep topic. If you are free, you have responsibilities. If you are feral, you have none.
Definitely. Anything else?
Not for today, but a ton of things we'll keep talking about, and the future's waiting for us.
Right. Thank you for listening to us. Until next time, stuff bhaichara. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.